Interesting tidbit of American political history. We have the Democrats and Republicans that fight against each other. Huh? Did you know there used to be the Democratic Republican Party, founded by Thomas Jefferson and James Madison, but they began to split in the years leading up to the 1824 presidential election. The division was solidified following the election, leading to the formation of two distinct new parties, the National Republicans and the Democratic Party. The main reasons for the split were internal divisions over policy, the party having been the dominant political force since the demise of the Federalist Party after the War of 1812, lacked a strong opposition to hold it together. Over time, different factions within the party developed conflicting views on key issues. These included disagreements over tariffs, the national bank, and federally funded infrastructure projects. The 1824 election and the corrupt bargain. The 1824 presidential election was a pivotal moment. Four candidates, all of whom were Democrat Republicans, ran for president. Andrew Jackson, John Quincy Adams, Henry Clay, and William Crawford. None of the candidates won a majority of the Electoral College, and the election was sent to the House of Representatives. Henry Clay, who was the Speaker of the House, threw his support to John Quincy Adams. After Adams won, he appointed Clay as the Secretary of State. This was decried by Andrew Jackson and his supporters as a corrupt bargain, and it led to the formal division of the party, contrasting visions of government. The split was also a result of fundamental ideological divide. The National Republicans, led by Adams and Clay, favored a more active role for the federal government and economic development. They supported policies like a national bank, protective tariffs to help American industry, and internal improvements. This group eventually became the nucleus of the Whig Party. The Democratic Party, led by Andrew Jackson, emphasized states' rights, a limited federal government, and the interests of the common man. They were skeptical of the national bank and opposed federal funding for internal improvements. I'm going to ask another question. What happened when the National Republican Party became the Whig Party? I'm on my phone. And what was the result and reasons? Let's see. The National Republican Party effectively became the Whig Party around mid-1830s, specifically 1834. The transition wasn't a formal merger, but a and they got together. They put together various groups that shared a common opposition to President Andrew Jackson and his policies. The Whig Party was a broad coalition united by a few key principles, which were direct reaction to Jacksonian democracy, opposition to King Andrew Jackson. This was the primary reason. Whigs viewed Jackson's presidency as an overreach of executive power, a tyrantry. They took the name Whig from the British political party that had historically opposed the power of the monarchy, directly comparing Jackson to a king. Support for Henry Clay's American system. This was the ideological core of the National Republicans that carried over to the Whigs. They advocated for a national bank to stabilize the economy and credit. Jackson had famously vetoed and rechartered the Second Bank of the United States, protective tariffs to promote American industry, federally funded internal improvements like roads, canals, and railroads to connect the country and foster diverse coalition. The Whigs attracted a wide range of groups, including National Republicans, the core of the party, anti-Masons, a small single-issue party that opposed Freemasonry, disgruntled Democrats who were alienated by Jackson's policies, particularly his attack on the National Bank, Southern states' rights proponents who opposed Jackson's strong-arm tactics during the nullification crisis. The result of the change, the formation of the Whig Party, had several significant results. Re-established the two-party system. The Whigs created a viable nationwide opposition to the Democratic Party. This second-party system of Democrats versus Whigs dominated American politics for the next 2 decades, shifted political campaigning. The Whigs were highly successful in their 1840 presidential campaign with William Henry Harrison. They pioneered a more modern-style log cabin and hard cider campaigning that focused on a candidate's image and personality rather than just ideology. Eventual demise over the issue of slavery. The Whigs Party's strength came from its diverse coalition, but the same diversity became its undoing. The party was deeply divided on the issue of slavery, with conscious Whigs in the North opposing it, its expansion, and Cotton Whigs in the South supporting. As this debate over slavery intensified in the 1850s, the Whig Party could not maintain its fragile unity, paved the way for the Republican Party. The first blow to the Whigs came with the Kansas-Nebraska Act of 1854, which allowed for the possibility of slavery in new territories. This act shattered the Whig coalition. The anti-slavery Northern Whigs, along with the anti-slavery Democrats and others, formed a new party, the Republican Party, which was built on the strong anti-slavery platform. The Southern Whigs largely drifted into the Democratic Party or the short-lived Constitutional Union Party. And by the end of the 1850s, the Whigs Party had essentially dissolved. Why is the Democratic Party now anti-slavery? The shift in the Democratic Party's stance on slavery was a complex and gradual process that took place over many decades. Not a single abrupt change, but a series of events and ideology realignments, particularly in the 20th century. Civil War and the aftermath, the Great Depression and the New Deal, the Civil Rights Movement. The result, over the next few decades, the ideological positions of the two major parties essentially flipped on racial issues. The Democratic Party became the champion of civil rights and social justice, attracting the support of African Americans and other minority groups. Meanwhile, the Republican Party became the party of a more limited federal government and states' rights, which appealed to many white voters in the South. The realignment cemented the modern political landscape, where the Democratic Party is now the standard bearer for civil rights and racial equality, a stark contrast to its historical roots.